Hey everybody, how are you? Unidis Estevez here. As promised, I said I would come over to share with you my takeaways from this weekend. And as you know, it's been July has been the month of growth. One of the girls on our team mentioned that it's been 2 weeks of non-stop ongoing training, and I've been blessed, I have to say that, to be in the presence of, hi Kim, hi Maria, of learning from the best of the US, the best motivational speakers. I mean, two weeks ago, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I was at Summit in New Orleans, and I had the pleasure of learning from Darren Hardy, who is the author of The Compound Effect, the first book I ever read as a self-help book when I started my journey to lose weight. And then the next speaker that I heard from was Brendan Burchard, who's also the author of the Motivation Manifesto. And those two speakers have been very key in my journey. Like, in addition to reading the Bible every day, I make it a goal, I make it my point to learn something new that will help me be a better person. And it started off, you know, with the idea that I needed to change, and understanding that I wanted other people to change before I changed. But when I got tired of waiting for people to change and then they never changed, that made me focus on hola Rebecca, ¿cómo está? That made me feel like I needed to make the change, and that was it, because that's the only thing I had me to control. So this past Thursday, I invested. I bought myself a ticket with my team, and we went to this event. It was called Unleash the Power Within, and it was hosted by Tony Robbins. So I'm a born-again Christian, and I'm going to put that out there because it was one of the blocks that I had put in my life. I thought, you know, I had this preconceived notion of who Tony Robbins was. To me, he was, you know, the new era kind of person. Rebecca, para que usted me entienda, yo no quería ir al evento de Tony Robbins porque para mí él era como una de esas gente de la nueva era, de que todo tiene que ser, you know, con el poder del yo. Y yo tengo mucha fe en Dios, y creo que Dios es el único que tiene poder para cambiar el ser humano. And so yo personalmente me quedaba como más atrás, como yo no quería ofender a Dios, ni faltar, ni que me faltara a mí. So yo poner como ir a un evento donde estuviera Tony Robbins, para mí era como faltarle a Dios. But so to me it was like, as a born-again Christian, I had all these preconceived notions, hi Henry, about Tony Robbins, thinking that he was like this guru, and that everything was about, you know, you think about, let's say for example, like I used to think, he must be one of those people that if you stare long enough at a garden, you're gonna make the garden grow into a beautiful flowers because you're just thinking about it. So yo era de las que pensaba que Tony Robbins era el que creía que si tú mirabas un jardín y mirabas el jardín suficientemente con mucha fe y le hablabas al jardín, el jardín iba a florecer, a venir las flores. Pero en realidad, cuando estoy en el momento, él me fue desarmando, él me fue dando, en realidad, que todo se trataba de la educación a uno mismo. So he disarmed me at the beginning, and he helped me see that what I was there to do was to unlock the things that were holding me back from achieving more in life. So yo estaba ahí, era para desbloquear o abrir las áreas de mi vida donde estaban cerradas por mi propia falta de pensamiento, por mi falta de pensamiento, de pensar. So ahí entonces, you know, él hablaba, you know, él le dio el respeto a las personas que son creyentes, y le decía, yo no estoy aquí para hablarle a ustedes de fe, no estoy aquí para cambiarle su fe, porque cada quien tiene derecho a pensar y a creer en Dios o en lo que crea. Él habló varias veces de un Dios, de una fuerza sobrenatural y de que nosotros todos venimos de ahí. So once he started to speak about faith and started to speak about that we all come from different areas of our lives, call Papi on the iPad and let him know that I'm on the phone. When he started to speak about that, I felt at ease. I felt like, you know what, it's okay. I'm at a place where I'm able to understand my foundations in where I'm grounded, in my word, in what comes from God, what doesn't. And I'm able to choose what's good and what's not. And at one point, you know, my sister even put this example. It's like you go to a buffet and you are offered all this amazing food and you pick and you choose what you need, and whatever you don't like, whatever you think you're gonna have an allergic reaction to, you leave it to the side. So that's what happened. You know, I was at this event, there was 14,000 people. So there was people from all walks of life, all types of, you know, beliefs. And of course, we have to be open-minded and go in with an open heart, and also understanding where I am and what needs to be changed. Hola, milagros. Hi. So the point of what I want to share with you today is that maybe the Unides that you see today is not the same Unides that was 5 years ago. It took me a long time to embrace an invitation to attend a Tony Robbins event. And I'm okay with saying that to you. I'm also okay with saying to you that I didn't walk on fire. I didn't. And I feel good about that. Like, I'm okay. I know that most people, that's like that's the dessert. People will say, but if you went to Tony Robbins and you didn't walk on fire, then that doesn't give you the full experience. But to me it does, because I wasn't there to unleash the fear. See, to me, fear was already unleashed through a retreat and through a different experience that I had with God. And that's where I felt that my fear was gone. Like, God took that away from me. I was there because there were still things in myself that I was holding back on making myself get to the next level, because I was playing small, because I believed that it was okay to be average. I had already a master's degree in my, you know, education. I had already the, you know, the field. I had already the stature that I'm an educated person. I have the marriage. I have my kids. I have my set life. Like, what else do I want? But I felt the confirmation at this event where we're all on this journey to feel fulfilled. And it's not arriving at our degree. It's not arriving at a rank. It's not arriving at a special position at a job. It's not even arriving at a place where you can look at your bank account and it's overflowing with money, because none of that will matter. What will matter in the end is your contribution to the world. What will matter at the end is your service of yourself to the world. And here is why it's important to have your potential unlocked, because your potential is wrapped in this, it's in this gift that is covered, or that is there, that is uncovered through pain. And at first glance, your potential doesn't look appealing to the eye, to the naked eye, because when you're going through the pain, you want the world to swallow you up. You want to hide under the covers and you want to make believe that it didn't happen. But if you change your perception and you look at the pain that you are going through in the moment, the miracle of your potential is hidden inside of that pain. Because here's the thing, if you choose to take the miracle of the pain you're going through, and you say, all right, what can I take out of this pain? What can I learn from this pain? And how can I teach other people about this pain? And now how can I contribute to others and become a service to them? That's when you will definitely find the magic and the reasoning behind the pain you went through. And you might say, well, so then we have to be masochists, and then we have to be like people that want to like look for pain. No, the truth of the matter is that we all have un aguijón. I mean, I'm sorry, I speak English and Spanish, but todos tenemos como un aguijón, o todos tenemos un algo que está dentro de nosotros, que nosotros lo miramos como que es algo negativo, que es algo que nos está tratando de matar, o nos está tratando de quitar del medio, o nos está tratando de quitar nuestro propósito. Pero en realidad lo que nosotros sentimos en el momento viene siendo la magia, o cuando nos atrevemos a entrar al dolor que sentimos, es donde podemos ver que en realidad de ahí es donde sale nuestro potencial, porque no lo estamos escondiendo, ya no le tenemos miedo a enfrentar el dolor que estamos sintiendo, porque estamos dispuestos a sobrepasarlo para poder ayudar a otros que están pasando por la misma situación y a que ellos también puedan vencer. Y de ahí proviene el desarrollo del potencial que cada uno de nosotros llevamos dentro. No es que alguien va a venir a regalarte un potencial, es que tú vas a desarrollar el potencial a través de tu salida del sufrimiento y buscando la manera de cambiar tu perspectiva. So de eso se trataba Tony Robbins. De eso, that's what Tony Robbins was about. It was about uncovering what is it, your beliefs, what is it about your life that can serve other people so that they too can feel unleashed and feel great. And something powerful that happened at Tony Robbins was that it was easy for us. Like, you know how sometimes you can spend hours, depressed, or I'm one that if I think of a thought, like at 10 o'clock at night, I've had this thought in my mind sometimes where someone is going to get into an accident. And in my mind, it becomes so real that I can't fall asleep, because now I'm thinking about what will life be when this person goes into an accident, and then how will life continue. And then I put so much time and energy into those thoughts that I make myself anxious, worried, and sleepless. So now, the same energy that it took for me to put myself in that situation is going to take for me to get myself out of that situation. And if you think about it, that's how we spend most of our lives. We spend most of our lives putting ourselves in situations that only we have the power to take ourselves out of, because we're the ones who either build the cage in which we're going to live, or we get the key that unlocks our freedom and walk through the passageway so that we can find it. So had I not accepted the opportunity for growth in my life for perhaps 4 years ago, I may not have experienced the breakthroughs that happened over this weekend, because I was closed in into only one way of thought. But when you have friends that are seeking growth and that are constantly inspiring you to grow and to move into better places in life, it also inspires you to keep moving forward. And I speak to a lot of people who are trying to live a healthy lifestyle, people who are trying to be positive, but everything that surrounds them is negative. Everything that surrounds them is unhealthy. And it's hard to live a healthy lifestyle when all that you are surrounding yourself with is unhealthy habits. So that's where you have to make a choice, and you have to make yourself a list of yourself. And that's why I'm very big on putting yourself first. And sometimes we do that willingly, and sometimes life happens to us and it forces us to put ourselves first. And when you put yourself first, you start to examine the friendships that you have. And if they're adding to your life, you continue to invest more time in spending with them. But if the people you're surrounding yourself with are constantly in the same moan and groan and the bitching and the whole complaining aspect, and that's who you're going to turn to be. And if that's not who you want to become, then move. You're not a tree. You're not a tree. You have the will to move, to decide to change. And surround yourself with people who are where you hope to be one day, or with people that inspire you because they're constantly seeking that growth. You see what I'm saying? And it takes growth, it takes time, and it takes pain in order for you to understand that. And I wasn't alone at this event. I was along with another, I don't know, maybe 30 of us were there. And I'm glad that I wasn't alone, because there were moments where I needed to like look to them and say, we're good. We're not in that bad of a place. And it's rare to find people who are seeking growth nowadays, because everybody is all about themselves and everybody is all about keeping things to themselves. But it's time now where we have to. Mommy, you gotta lower that, mommy. We're coming to a time now where it's our responsibility to make our surroundings a better place. And the only way that we can make our surroundings a better place is by changing ourselves. And I know it's gonna sound harsh, but stop seeking to change your husband. Stop seeking to change your children. Stop seeking to change your friends. Don't. Stop it. Because what you're doing is you're wasting time, you're wasting effort, and you're wasting energy. It's not worth it. It's absolutely not worth it. By focusing on changing somebody else, you're setting yourself up to fail. You're setting yourself up to like wonder what the heck is wrong with you. Why can't you make this person see how you see? My advice to you is get to work on changing yourself. Get to work on becoming the best mom, the best loving mom you can be. Work on being the best wife you can be. Work on being the best friend you can be. And here's the secret. You're going to give of yourself. You're going to be the best version of you without expecting to receive back. And that's not gonna be easy, because you're gonna have to check your ego at the door. You're gonna have to slam your personal needs and wants because you feel that you deserve more. But until you don't start to give more, don't expect to get more. You see, I was, believe it or not, a grouchy mother. I was that mom who yelled before she spoke. I was that mom who would, easily like slap my kids because I had a very short circuit. And you would say, really, Unides? Oh my God, imposible. But I had a short temper. I had, and there are still moments in which I'm ready to lose my temper. And I would lash out very easily. And I would see that in their eyes, I saw eyes of fear against me. And I had to change that. I couldn't change them, because by screaming at them, I wasn't changing them. I was making matters worse. By forcing them to be whatever I thought they should be, I was putting more work on myself than they should put on themselves. So what I started to do was change myself. I changed my tone. And whenever I was upset, I practiced the 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then I would ask what it is that I wanted. But now I wasn't as expressive as I was, right? There were even moments in which I would walk away from the situation and then come back when I was more at peace and could explain myself to them, and explain why I get upset when their toys are all splattered around the room, or why their bed isn't made at the end of the day, or why they're still, you know, in their pajamas, or why they haven't brushed their teeth. Like, all those things that would make me angry, I would start by saying, you know, guys, sometimes we have to like set ourselves up and put the plan out, and this is how we're gonna do the day. And that started to change. And instead of screaming, I started to have conversations, and I started to explain myself. And little by little, I found myself that because I started to change my way to react to them, their performance towards me started to change as well. The same thing happens with the husbands and with the relationships. If you're constantly yelling and nagging and screaming and bitching, that's exactly the reaction you're gonna get. Instead, give the reaction and the behavior you expect to receive, and don't say anything. Don't say a thing. Just do you. Improve you. Work on getting as good as you possibly can. As a matter of fact, I'm going to change that, because good will only get you poor results. But if you work on being extraordinary, you're going to get great results. Yes, you gotta elevate your expectations. You gotta go above and beyond everybody else, including your household, because it starts in our home. So I could go on and on. It was 50 hours of extreme, intense training at Tony Robbins. And I know for a fact I am a better person for it. I know that I feel like I have my backpack full of tools that I can use to improve in my household. Hi, Norris. If anybody has any questions and you feel like you want to ask, I'm going to stay around for another 5 minutes and answer any of your questions. So I know that I am a better person for attending this event. And I know that by staying open to grow, I am fulfilling my life's purpose, because I'm becoming equipped to help other people and empower others so that they too can find and unlock their potential. And I started off with saying that sometimes, you know, you feel like stature, ranks, and special positions at work are gonna help you feel satisfied, and when you achieve, you're like, I'm not there yet. I feel like I'm still missing more. And I'm gonna share this quote that Tony Robbins shared at the event, and it's, the purpose of a goal is to grow. So the purpose that you went to school, that you earned that rank, that position at work, the fact that you are in a better position in your family economic status, that all has a growth reason. What you get from that, maybe you got the income, maybe you got, okay, the rank, the stature, the recognition from the people around you. That's not necessarily going to make you happy, because you can't really do anything with that if you keep it to yourself. But who you become as a product of that will certainly serve a bigger purpose, because now you have grown into a position of leadership, and a leader teaches, a leader models the behaviors that others should inspire to be. So now you elevate your standards and you inspire other people to elevate their standards as well. And you're now going to be in a position of contribution, in a position of service, in a position of where you're going to leave a track from wherever you are so that it's noticeable when you're no longer there. It's noticeable when you enter a room because it has to light up. It's noticeable when now you have left a mark, maybe by the words you spoke to somebody, maybe by the behavior you had. And with social media, we have this whole thing where people are afraid of even having accounts on Facebook because everybody is so fake. So it comes even with that. So whoever you portray to be on social media, make sure that when somebody sees you in person, they recognize the same person too. So don't try to be this person on social media, this perfect thing, and then when they see you in person, you're completely the opposite, or they can't even recognize you because you can't even be the same person. It all wraps itself around the same place. All right? So the purpose of a goal is to grow. What you get will never make you happy. Who you become will. And if you take that with you and you decide today that you are going to grow into the best wife, the best mom, the best sister, the best friend, the best human, as Saudi says, I promise you, you're going to make the world a better place, and now you're going to be happy for it because you know you planted seeds of good in the world. And I think with that, guys, I'm gonna say good night. And thank you for joining me. Thank you for being part of my daily lessons, because I feel like you are my classroom. I get to teach what I learn with you. And I pray that the lessons and the journey that I'm going through inspires you as well. Not to keep it to yourself, to share it with others too. All right? So be blessed, and don't forget, be a blessing to somebody else. Have a good night.